We're running a Flex 6300 and an off-center fed dipole up on the side of the mountain. We are on Beach Mountain. That's a resort community for skiing and mountain biking, and we're about 15 miles or so from the Tennessee border, so we're very close. What's your QTH, Frank? Didn't think I picked that up yet. Go ahead.
We are located near Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. And Bob, like I say, I've been looking at your modulation, and it looks like it might be, well, where you are occasionally hitting 100%, your average peak modulation is pretty low. I'm just wondering if, you might think, just out of curiosity, if you have a processor, maybe just a little bit processing to increase your average peak modulation. Roger.
Oh, great! Yeah, well, thank you for the comment. Always appreciate that. Let me try that and see. Yeah, we're not getting very much compression on the here. Try that. That's not really doing it. Huh. Well, it's a little mystery. I hopefully can continue a little bit. I do see what you're saying on the meter here. It's probably pretty light, even though I am getting out the levels on high.
Bob, I'm not copying you at all right now. I don't know if you faded out or what there, but if you look at your ALC, go to your ALC meter and look and see. I would bring my just my normal mic gain. I would bring my normal mic gain up to where I was on the right-hand side of center. Not stay within your guidelines for ALC operation, but I would be on the right-hand side of center for sure. Right-hand side of center on your ALC meter, but within the max designation, right?
Okay, let's see if we can do something here. I'm looking improvements here. I think I had the mic gain down way too low and brought it up quite a bit. Is that any better at all for you, Jim?
Oh, sir, yes. You're about 3 times louder than what you were, and your audio is still, not as far as being pressed, it's not pressed at all. It just sounds natural, but louder. Roger.
Oh, good. I do apologize. I've been filling around with equipment and getting ready to rebuild the shack here. So I've been putting equipment here and there, connecting and reconnecting, so I don't think I quite had it tuned up yet. And yeah, things look a little better on this end too. Well, thank you for noticing that. That's really important that we do that for each other. Obviously, we, each of our shacks have an awful lot of things to adjust and control, and sometimes you miss it. And your comment was really spot on, so thank you very much for that. We're retired here at age of 67, Jim. We worked as a consulting engineer, electrical in background, and small company I worked for had a lot of employees around the world, and we, well, not a lot, 150, but we did consulting for owners of rail transit systems, airports, cities, whatever. So we helped them out. Just came back from Saudi Arabia a little while ago, a year or two, and spent my last time
in Gosh, Bob, I was copying most of that did again, Mother Nature's not being particularly cooperative this well, actually it's afternoon now, so not well done on your coming back from Saudi Arabia. I didn't catch exactly what you were doing though. What was your line of work?
I'm an engineer, so a technical guy, and electrical engineering was my degree. And I came on with a company called Lee and Elliott, and we are about 150 people or so strong. And we do consulting for railroads. We're consultants for helping owners. We write the proposal, help them with the construction, and we'll do monitor O&M in their place because most airports or some cities don't have a crew that understand how to specify, install, and run a transit system. And these are fully automated, computer operated, like your shuttles at the airports, Jim, where you get on airside and you automatically go to land side and pick up your luggage. That's the kind of thing that we consulted for.
Roger, Bob, I've got that. Like Chicago, you land on one side and you have a train that takes you all the way to the other side or wherever, I understand that. Local transportation hub for a major transportation facility like airport or I guess trains and stuff like that. Well done. And how much, well, in Saudi Arabia, do they have much traffic? I mean, as far as trains? For trains, Jim, the country is increasing, but it doesn't have much inner city service or freight service around the country or through the country. It's very light on that. But in the cities, that's increasing rapidly. All the major cities are installing new transit systems. And the biggest one, I think, just went into Riyadh, and they're starting to finish up and open that up. It was gigantic. I think it was the largest train system contract to be let ever, and it was huge. The city is terribly congested, so they really, truly needed a transit system, and I'm sure this will give it to them for sure. So, yeah, different parts of the world have different strengths. For example, in Europe, just a quick note, of course, Europe is loaded with trains. Europeans are in love with their trains, the freight, passenger, and they just love them and have some really nice ones. Other countries may not. So that's kind of the thing that I did. I enjoyed it very much and still follow the industry, which is changing. How about yourself? Are you retired? Are you working? And what do you do? We are retired from radio broadcasting. We were in commercial radio for 50 years, and so kind of got out of it there before Clear Channel came in, and we thank lucky stars for that, because unfortunately things have not been well for commercial broadcasting since Clear Channel has, or iHeartRadio, as you might say, have become involved, and it's really unfortunate because they have almost single-handedly destroyed commercial radio broadcasting in America. There was a time, in my time, you could have 6 radio stations or so, and but somehow something, I think some money changed hands somewhere, not to be specific, but they now own somewhere around 1,400 radio stations, and they're all in deep problems. Roger?
Wow, yeah, that's interesting. You should tell me more about that. I will plead ignorance. I'm not really 100% sure that I'm aware of Clear Channel as a, I guess, would that be internet radio, or be just a very large, huge conglomerate of AM and FM on the air stations. Which is that, Jim? Could you clarify that, please? Go ahead.
Roger. These are AM and FM on-air commercial facilities. They would come into a market, and if there were 8 radio stations in the market, they would buy 7 at unbelievably inflated prices. I think the thinking was that once they had secured the area as far as broadcasting capabilities, they could name their price, but they totally misjudged the situation and wound up paying much too much for all of those stations, to the point that even if every station was functioning at its maximum capabilities, they still couldn't pay the bill. They've had to sell the towers, sell the land that the towers are on. I mean, it's just been a disaster for commercial radio.
Yep, roger all of that. KK6BS.
I didn't copy that last. Try again, Bob.
I think we had another station there, maybe listening up on it. I believe it was kilowatt 6, maybe BS. I'm not sure. Please go ahead.
Okay. Oh, let me get a little fire in the wire, gentlemen. Yeah, you piqued my interest immediately. You're talking about the business I was in for 48 years, and absolutely correct. The summation from the other gentleman there. These companies bought stations like they were going out of style. They got very heavily leveraged. They couldn't pay off their debt, and so their core businesses had to pay the price. And by the way, Clear Channel is now iHeartRadio. There still is Clear Channel Outdoor. That's the part of the company that's actually making money. But to conclude, the 2 biggest radio station owners in the country have recently declared bankruptcy. That's how bad it is, and I'm so glad that I got in, had a career, and got the heck out of that business. Back to you. Very nice to hear you guys here in North Central Florida. My name's Joe. Joe, call sign Kilo 6. Bologna Sandwich, KK6 Broadcasting Station, but no more. Back to you, sir. Go ahead. Thanks for letting me in.
Roger that. Those comments are correct. I still use Clear Channel and iHeartRadio interchangeably, because I don't think that, I think what happened was that Clear Channel got so far in the tank that they thought they could just change their name to iHeartRadio and everybody would forget about Clear Channel Radio. But I'm not going to let them forget about that. I mean, that's what the company really is. And, just changing your name doesn't change the situation, Roger.
That's right, especially when you're extremely profit-driven and absolutely wreck the radio business through downsizing, through syndicating talent from one station to another, but yet not paying them diddly. It was just unbelievable to watch that company come in after the Telecom Act in '96 and piggishly grab up as many stations as they could. So they're getting their just reward now. I've seen a lot of very talented broadcasters go down in flames because of that company. And so they've got enough bad karma to last them the rest of this life. But anyway, you guys carry on. You really piqued up my interest, and had to jump in and say 1 or 2 words there. I'm happily retired now and living back near my hometown, but have been worked in radio in L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, Chicago, Boston, on and on. Had a great career. And I never, ever worked for Clear Channel Communications. Worked for CBS for about 10 years and some others, but I'm so happy to say that I never went to work for those cutthroats. So there you go. Back to you, sir, and thanks again. KK6BS, Gainesville, Florida.
Roger. Yeah, we had 50 years in commercial service, so we had to do a couple of extra years as opposed to your 48, but we did get out in 79, so luckily we also avoided Clear Channel iHeartRadio. It's just pathetic, that one entity, number one, should have been allowed to accrue that many broadcast stations. That should have never happened, and I'm sure that I guess that is what they could apply the financial worth of the station that they bought into their total financial capabilities there. And I'm not real sure how all that goes, but they were tremendously over-leveraged and just didn't care. They thought that they could, solve the world's problems. Well, unfortunately, there's been a major shift in listenership. Folks can now dial up their own music. So, I mean, to say that we play your favorite music is BS, because the people can play their own music. They don't need radio stations, to do that. And the other thing is, creativity would be one possibility that they could possibly come back with to reestablish themselves, but unfortunately they don't have any money to pay for creativity, and they're wondering why people are continue to dwindle as far as listenership numbers are concerned, because there is no creativity. There's 3 guys in Syracuse that are programming 1,400 radio stations, and they're working out of a basement.
Yeah, that's right. Or out of a hot room. Absolutely correct. And there's the localism for terrestrial radio is all gone. In fact, there had to be a rule made to force radio stations to actually have somebody on premises, because what was happening is these companies would syndicate everything and run it off the satellite, and feed their stations all over the country. And when you had a local event like a big storm or a big traffic jam or fatalities on the interstate or whatever, that radio station would not say a word about it because there was nobody there. So they got yelled at for that. But as far as being allowed to accumulate radio stations, that's the work of the U.S. Congress. They passed that telecom bill back in '96, and the president signed it, even though there was a lot of pressure for him to do that. But he did, and from that point on, terrestrial radio started going right downhill. You're absolutely right. They're so heavily leveraged, they can't even operate their business, and then their business model for terrestrial radio is wrong. That business model became obsolete when entertainment became available online, and you're absolutely right. You can go online, you can fire up an app, and you can build a list that you want to listen to. You can have them do it for you, or whatever. But it's pretty much game over. Anyone mostly under 35 don't even listen to terrestrial radio anymore. They're all gone online, or various places, Spotify. Even iHeart has tried to build a brand online, but they're too late. Terrestrial radio in general, all of the owners were warned about, here comes the online stuff. You guys, you better make a presence over on that end and get ready to shed the terrestrial when the time comes. And none of them did it. Congressman at Infinity and CBS said, I can't monetize anything online, so I'm not going to do it. Well, and they got caught holding the bag. Now they don't have any strong brands online. Still, that takes a long time. So anyway, 73, you guys have a great one. Let me get up here, and we have a break in the rain, so I just connected my antenna and heard you guys. But let me run out here and get a couple of things done. It'll be back with a vengeance here later on this afternoon. So back to you, gentlemen. Thanks again for letting me in. My name is Joe. And, I'm outside of Gainesville, Florida, out here in the woods. So back to you guys, and thanks so much again. This is KK6BS. We'll be in the listening mode here, over.
Roger, I love your call sign. I wish I had your call sign. 3 is Joe. Come back one more time with your location, please.
Okay, I'm in the I-75 corridor, about probably 90 miles or so south of the Georgia-Florida border, west of Gainesville. I was away for about 42 years. It's my hometown, and now I'm back again, but I don't live in the city limits,
Roger that, roger that. Well, we have a QSO-VLOG page on YouTube where we record QSOs and post them, and I have been recording this this QSO. Unfortunately, conditions are not the greatest in the world, but I think you know, we'll probably post it because we do have a wealth of information in there. So if we're all concerned, we'll probably post this in the next couple of days. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and right at the top of the page there's one entity that has all of our QSOs in it, 205, and if you click on that, open it up, you'll find Art Bell at the top, Bob Heil second, and this QSO will be somewhere in that area. Roger, Roger?
Roger, yeah, well, Art is somebody that I used to work not on a regular basis, but certainly often enough. I'd run into W6OBD either on 10 meters or 17. I used to listen to Art down on 75 at night. I can't remember exactly what frequency he was on, but he was with a bunch of fellows there, and if you waited late enough, you know, he'd come on from Pahrump. And sorry to see him pass away. He's another one that got screwed by iHeart, namely their premier networks on their syndication arm there. Boy, they screwed him over wonderfully. And he told them, you know, they would take a hike. He told them where to go. And good for him. He got out of that mess. Thank you for the YouTube information. That's King Charlie 9 Victor Kilowatt Victor. I got that. I'll be going online here shortly. I have something for you to look up on YouTube as well. And just go to YouTube and search for J-O-J-O Kincaid. That's Jojo Kincaid, K-I-N-C-A-I-D. Common spelling, J-O-J-O K-I-N-C-A-I-D. Look at the first video, and that's me. So there you go, KC9VKV, taking 60S.
Roger, Roger, Joe. If when you go to the KC9VKV QSO-VLOG page, there will also be a lead that you could go to Jim Fergusson's radio story, which is the main hub for the you know, QSO-VLOG is an offshoot from that. But on the main page, we have 750 some odd segments that we produced along the way for you know, in our commercial adventure. Mama said always get the masters, so we tried to do that, and so we have a bunch of documentaries and specials, also quite a bit of full-length music concerts that we produce. So like I say, you can get to, well, if you go to the QSO-VLOG page, there'll be a reference to Jim Fergusson's radio story, so you could you know, click on that and go to there. Roger.
Roger, thank you so much for that information. And I've taken up too much time here as a sideline guy. Thanks for that, all that, and I really appreciate the conversation here. I'm going to let you guys get back to it while you still have some band. Boy, 40 is just been awful here lately. It seems to completely disappear in the afternoon for 200-mile communication. So have to go down to 75 actually a little bit early. So, but before that, a 20-meter schedule today with a friend out in Washington State. And again, let me get outside here. We do have some brief sunshine before the sky opens up again. So we'll get the trash out to the curb and do some of that stuff that you don't like to do when it's pouring rain. That's for sure. But thanks again. Very enjoyable. Do take care at 7-3. KK6DS from Gainesville, Florida is now clear and leaving the air. 7-3.
Roger, Roger, Joe. 3 is that away, so you have a pleasant afternoon, and we'll catch you later. And back to Bob in far west North Carolina.
Very good, Jim. Yeah, Joe, if you're still listening up, nice meeting you. You're making a good haul from Gainesville, Florida, over here, or up, I should say, north of you, to the western North Carolina mountains. So yeah, KC9KV still, VKV still with us. This is KV4JO. to KK6BS, Joe. And I do like that call also, Jim. I second your comments wholeheartedly. Definitely funny. Well, we're going to pull the plug here with you, Jim. And I do have to say that I've learned a lot about the business and the reality of commercial broadcasting here this afternoon. I've kept in touch with that a bit when I was a teenager and a young man getting into the workforce.
Kilo 4, Lima, Juliet, Mike.
Stand by station.
Kilo 4, Lima, Juliet, Mike, K4LJM, Larry in Elkin, North Carolina.
And it sounds like you might have a book in the works. With all this experience and a lot of history. For your finals with me, I'm going to sign out and listen out. This is KV4JO in Beach Mountain, North Carolina, and we'll say 73 to you, Jim. Over to you, KC9VKV. Go ahead.
Roger, Bob. Just curious, before you go, are you near Asheville, North Carolina?
Roger, that's correct. We are near Asheville. It's a couple hours from here, going leisurely and stopping for a bite to eat on the way. In fact, we were there just last weekend, over the weekend, and enjoyed it very much. Quite a city.
Roger that. We have made contact with the 2-meter Mount Mitchell repeater from here, direct, which is a little over 400 miles. That's the furthest that we've been able to communicate on 2 meters doing our repeater DXing. So we are familiar with the Mount Mitchell repeater there. I think we've worked them about 9 times now. And most of the time we come in there in the morning about 8 o'clock in traffic, drive traffic, and just meet a bunch of people there. And we have mentioned that the gentleman, the elderly gentleman that created that Mount Mitchell repeater, is kind of like the Elvis of amateur radio, in that he had the foresight to realize 6,600 feet is going to make a difference as far as getting out. And so when he built that repeater, 2-meter repeater up on Mount Mitchell, he certainly knew what he was doing. Well, anyway, Bob, we'll say threes to you, sir. We enjoyed the QSO, and you have a good afternoon. This is KC9VKV.
Great, Jim. Thank you. You have a good spot in the log here. Please, if you hear me anytime on the bands, please just jump in. And I'm starting to get interested in 2-meter myself here, just for that reason, seeing how far I can get a little bit on that. So, yeah, Mount Mitchell, it's great. It's a huge mountain. It's a real sight to see. We drove right by it. We were on the Blue Ridge Parkway on the way back from Asheville. So 73, Jim, take care and enjoy your time in Louisville. This is KV4JO, off and clear.
Roger, Bob. And one final thought, if you're interested in some antennas for 2 meters, if you go online and you do a search online for cheap Yagi antennas, you'll bring up Kent Britton, and he's done a lot of work for third world countries, designing antennas that can be built for almost nothing. These are like 1 by 1.5 inch by 8 foot pieces of wood that you use as the boom, and then your radios. I get my material at Home Depot in the fencing department. They've got I don't know what they use it for, but 2 8-foot pieces of 1/4 inch wire that have stabilizing pieces between them, and I bring it home, cut the stabilizers off between them, so I have 2 pieces of wire 1/4 inch in diameter, 8 foot long, and then I use my my sander to sand down the connections that those cross braces went to, and and it works great. And a lot of folks say, hey, you got to use copper aluminum for elements. That's not true. We built an identical antenna out of copper and put it up against our. What this is galvanized steel, zinc-covered galvanized steel. Put the two antennas up, A-bead them. It was not a dime's worth of difference between them. So there you go. And in third world countries, they use coat hangers for elements. So, you know, there's certainly not copper there. Threes, Bob. You have a real good afternoon. Catch you later. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Okay, just one quick final question. Was that cheap something antennas? I didn't jot it down quick enough. Could you please repeat that, Jim?
Roger. Cheap, C-H-E-A-P, cheap Yagi antennas, and Kent, Britain. Roger?
That's a Roger. Thank you so much, and take care. 73 to you and yours. Bye-bye.
Roger. There was another station back in the other station. Go ahead. There was a mobile back in there somewhere. This is KC9VKV.
K4LJM. It's Kilo 4 Lima Juliet Mike, Larry in North Carolina.
Hey, Larry in North Carolina. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well today. I just wanted to tell you what a good signal you had coming into North Carolina today. I've got a whole living room full of you. You're coming in 5'9" plus about 20.
Roger. Well, North Carolina is my favorite state. I spent a few years in commercial broadcasting in Fayetteville and Fort Bragg area. Two different stations in between Fayetteville and Fort Bragg. Roger.
Roger, understand. Well, I just wanted to let you know what a good signal you had into North Carolina today. Audio is crisp and perfect, and everything sounding, well, it just couldn't sound any better. And I just wanted to tell you and say hello when you hear somebody sounding that good.
Roger. Well, we are recording our QSO-VLOG for the day. And if you might be interested in your station sound, in a couple of days we'll post it on YouTube. So in a couple of days, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll bring up our QSO-VLOG page. Right at the top of the page, there's one entity that has 205 QSO'S, and if you click on that, there'll be Art Bell, Bob Heil, and right below Bob Heil, somewhere in there will be this QSO, so you'll be able to copy the mail on your radio. Roger?
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir, because I've never heard myself here on the Aircheck rig. So that would be a great thing to do, and we really appreciate that very much. Appreciate that opportunity so very much. That's great. Thank you, sir.
Roger. So we'll say threes for now, and we'll come back with your call sign, please, sir.
Yes, sir. It's Kilo 4 Lima Juliet Mike. KC9VKV.
Roger, and the name there?
Name is Larry.
Roger, Larry. Okay. Well, like I say, that'll be in there, and it may not have your call sign on the title because I've got quite a few call signs, but I'll make some kind of. Well, let's see here. It'll probably trying to think. Probably have. Gosh, I'm not sure whose call sign it will be, but it will be somewhere in that area, Roger.
Roger, okay, that'll be fine. I'll try to find it. And we do thank you for that, sir. We appreciate it very, very much.
Roger. Okay, three is down that way. You have a good afternoon. And this is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor.
Whiskey 8, Alpha Tango.
Alpha Tango station, go.
Yeah,
This is Whiskey 8 Alpha Tango. The name is Rick, located in north central West Virginia, Clarksburg. Just kind of wondering how the audio sounds. I just picked up a PR-77 from Bob over at Dayton down, just started hooked up and wondering how it sounds.
Well, you know, if you got a mic from Bob, it's going to sound beautiful, which it does. And this the name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger.
Roger, Jim. I got you in New Albany. Is that correct?
Oh, Roger. Yeah, just across the river from Louisville, just across the Ohio from Louisville. We're about 3 miles from downtown Louisville on the Indiana side. Roger.
Okay, well, I've been down in that area. My wife's into horses down, and we went out to a trainer over in Palmyra.
Roger, yes. It's probably about 15 miles away. And what was the name there, please?
Yeah, the name is Rick, Radio India Charlie Kilowatt. Just got this microphone, just made a cable up for it, and just got it hooked up there, and I'm pretty pleased with it so far, I think.
Roger, is that a 77?
Yeah, I guess Bob redesigned this and now making the 77D, and the 77s that he had left over, he took to Dayton down, and he severely reduced the price on them, so I couldn't resist it.
Oh, Roger, well, it sounds beautiful. Does that have also a low roll switch, low frequency rollout?
Yeah, it does. I'm on voice right now. Hold on a second, I'll flip it. Okay, that's the music side. I was on the voice to start with.
Roger, yeah, I would run it on voice. That was just perfect. That's you know, he knows what he's doing for mic design, and it is such that it doesn't require you know, a bunch of EQ for sure. You know, it just when I spoke with him, he said I just got it plugged in and it sounds like this, and it sounded beautiful.
Well, okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Jim. I'm running a K3. I don't know what I got my equalizer set at down through Alpha 99 and a wire turned out to about 35 foot, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'd get me some Gorilla Tape and tape all those controls just where they are, because I don't think they could be better. Roger, Roger.
Okay, very good, Darren. Well, like I said, you're my first contact with it, Darren. I'm just very curious of what it was. Tried down 20 here a little bit ago, Darren. I never heard a thing on the band.
Roger. Well, you know, this band right now, today has been not a good day necessarily. I mean, it's you know, conditions in and out and whatnot, but some days are like that, so we just have to take that and you know, look for better days where we have 40 overs that stay for 2 or 3 hours. But anyway, you are sounding really good, and if you want to hear it, if you go to, in a couple of days, go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. That'll take you to our QSO-VLOG page, and right at the top of the page there's one entity that has 205 some odd QSO-VLOGs, and if you click on that, when it opens up, there will be Art Bell at the top, Bob Howell second, and then our QSO should be somewhere in there. I can't say exactly where, and I haven't really figured out how to call it, because I got this is going to be like one long QSO with probably about 7 different stations. Roger.
Roger. I just clicked on your website here, and you say the one says Bob Howell?
The one at the top that has, you'll see 205 QSO'S on that one. If you click on that one, when it opens up, there will be 205 QSO-VLOGs, and Art Bell and Bob Howell will be right at the top.
Okay, yeah, I got that. Art Bell, Bob Howell. K2KFK.
Yeah, Roger. It just goes into our sequence below that. So this one will be right in that area, and it may be actually on the QSO-VLOG page itself before you even go to our 205 segments on the big one in the list. So it might be on the QSO-VLOG page when you get there, Roger.
Okay, well, very good. I'll look forward to that. I'm heading for Florida tonight, so maybe by the time I get there, it'll be up.
Roger. It's just trying to figure out what to call it there. Maybe I'll just call it by the date. The date is the 21st, so maybe I'll just work in 5/21/18 in the title somewhere. Roger.
Roger, I really appreciate that, and I'll look forward to that.
Roger. Well, 3's that away. Have a good trip down to Florida and enjoy the time down there, Roger.
Yeah, I'm planning on it down there. It's been a long time down there since I've taken a vacation, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, Jim, I'll let you go. I really appreciate the signal report and the audio. And you have a good day out there in Indiana. And run into Bob, tell him I'm well pleased. See, KC9VKV, W8AT73, Jim.
Roger, sir. Sound beautiful, but don't change a thing. 3's underway. Catch you later. KC9VKV.
KC9VKV, K9RSY.
Well, there's the man from Memphis. Hello.
Hey, how are you doing there? The gentleman you were talking to on the it sounded real nice with a PR-77. I'm also running a PR-77. And James, you're sounding good today.
Well, thank you, sir. Likewise. And that Bob Heil microphone sounds beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, you have one of those voices that, well, I don't know, it's just a beautiful voice. I've always admired your voice, threatened to go down and take your voice. Just kidding. But that microphone it really makes you sound beautiful.
Yeah, I'm real pleased with it there. And, it varies on different radios, whether I run it on the roll-off or I don't. On this particular older radio, this is an old 450 Kenwood there, I do run it on the music side, but that's due to the fact that it just doesn't have a real wide bandwidth, but well on almost every rig I've had.
Roger, that just had a little bit of fading there. Just a little bit of fading. But you are sounding beautiful, and appreciate the shout, Roger.
All right there. You have a good one there, James. Tell Bob I said hi. Have a great day. 73 to you, KC9VKV, 9RSY, Dan in Ripley, Tennessee.
Roger. Now, how far are you from Memphis?
60 miles due north. Just follow the Mississippi River on up 60 miles north of Memphis, Roger?
Roger, Dan. 3's that away. Sound beautiful. Catch you later. This is KC9VKV.
All right, there. You too, James. 73, K9RSY.
K9RSY, Kilo Delta 4, Bravo Whiskey Mike.
Yes, Bravo Whiskey Mike. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Dan. I just wanted to tell you, man, it's really booming in down here in Enterprise, Alabama. S9 plus almost 15. Beautiful signal down here. Sound great. Just wanted to let you know. This is Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Mike. The name is Mike.
Hey, okay, Mike. Yeah, I've got you 15 over in the propagation, and you're in a good location for me, being south of me there. All right, I'm going to let you fellows get back at it. Good to hear you in there. Everyone's sounding good. K9RSY.
Okay, have a good day, Dan. K9RSY, KD4BWM.
Yeah, this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, KC9VKV on 7186 this afternoon. Usually we try to get that on 7189, but there was some traffic, so we had to slide down just a little bit so we didn't interfere. But this is KC9VKV calling CQ for just a little while longer. Close enough. This is KC9VKV, and we will be using the today's date, which is 5/21/18. We will use today's date on our QSO-VLOG title. So the stations that have participated, there's about 7 or 8, can find the QSO and be able to hear themselves on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, when the page comes up, there will be one entity right at the top that has all 208 QSOs in it. Bob Art Bell at the top, Bob Heil second, and then this QSO series will be just below that, and we'll have the today's date 5/21/18 worked into the titles, so you guys should be able to find it. So threes, everybody. You catch you later, and this is KC9VKV will be clear.